Hello, Watem here, and welcome back to some more Higurashi When They Cry. You'll see the background looks different. Uh, yeah, my laptop's having issues, so I am moving to my desktop. You will also notice that this is in 1440p. Yeah, it's been a while since last time I recorded. If you watched the Stellaris stuff, then you'd have also noticed that was 1440p. In any case, here we are. I think I'm up to the same point which I was on the laptop. That's another reason why it was delayed. Let alone like just trying to get the laptop stuff to work. So yeah, that's that issue. So I did not check which ones were probably available. Um, yeah. But I don't think any of those have happened. I think I'm not sure about research of H107. I mean, we can always just try and let it chatter. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, definitely not that one. We've had the first part, I think. I'm not sure about the second part on this requirement. There we go. Okay. So right, last thing before we begin, let me know if anything needs to be changed, if any feedback you have, because this is well, new settings. I'm also preamping my voice, so that might affect the recording. Because yeah, I am a quiet person, and even at like 200% on Discord, no one could hear me. So I preamp now. Anyway, Sadako-chan's section plan has been scrubbed, and we're getting ready to administer an almost totally untested medicine, C103. This experimental medicine suppresses the production of a certain type of hormone, and, in doing so, it will stop the transmission of a syndrome triggering Sadako-chan's condition. The mechanism of Higurashi syndrome is as follows. The pathogen takes over the frontal lobe of the patient's brain and then induces increased responsiveness to paranoia. As a result, the patient voluntarily carries out excessively defensive behaviors to a problematic extent. If this induction can be cut off, then it will be possible to save terminal patients from becoming deranged. But it only cuts off an induction, so it's not really a cure. Ironically, the brain is an organ that learns. Once the brain has learned to be excessively paranoid due to Higurashi syndrome, even after the pathogen is eliminated, the brain doesn't simply unlearn that paranoia. In short, even if the pathogen doesn't induce derangement, the patient will be directed to such emotions of their own volition. Thus, it is impossible to completely escape the nearly deranged L5 state. The proverb, "a burnt child dreads the fire," is a good example of this. Even after the burn on your tongue heals, the fear of being burned by food again remains. When it ends up being a good thing, we call it learning a lesson, and we call it trauma when it doesn't. We predict Sadako-chan's treatment will take a significantly long time, requiring both medication, such as administering psychotropics, and mental care, like counseling. You have to slowly unravel her mind's solidified paranoia, while also suppressing the syndrome's induction of derangement. This is the treatment plan for terminal patients like Sadako-chan. However, as we are going to stimulate the parts of her brain that affect her emotions while they're being stimulated by the pathogen at the same time, it's possible there could be unexpected side effects. Both her mental and physical strength hold the key to our success. We were going to begin the experiment once she regains her emotional stability and physical strength, but someone who threatens to disturb her emotional stability has been coming here every day. Oishi, the sly old detective from Okonomiya Police Department. He thinks everything, from the dam process to its dismemberment murder of the construction manager, is an organised effort secretly conducted by the three families of the village. He even thinks the accident involving Sadako-chan's parents wasn't an accident. That's why he keeps coming back, so he can talk to Sadako-chan.
何度来られても、聡子ちゃんへの面会を許可することはできません。彼女は両親を亡くしたショックで打ちのめされているんですよ。それを汲み取ることはできませんか？
いやいや、本当にちょっとだけお話が聞ければいいんです。
This is someone who's perfectly fine to let teenagers be bait and die so that he can catch the murderers.
そうお時間を取らせるつもりはないんですがね。令状が必要だってんなら申請しないことはありませんが、そうなるとかなり本格的なことになってしまいますよ。
Good. Go through the courts and get a warrant.
私も北条さんの容体を気遣っているからこそ令状を取るなんて無粋を避けて
No, you're not.
令状を取ってまで一体何を聡子ちゃんに聞こうとしているのか、私にはさっぱりわかりません。
今回の転落、事故ではなく事件の可能性もありまして。
北条夫妻がダム戦争以来村中から嫌われているという話は知っています。ですがわざわざ旅行先まで追いかけて突き落とすというのは少々突飛すぎはしませんか？
まあ事故でもいいんですがね。ならばどうしてもよくわからない嘘があるんです。どうして嘘が必要なのかって考えるとですね。
Why lie about
あ
what?
りゃ事故ってことはありえないんじゃないかなって思うんです。
嘘とは何のことですか？
That's what I was thinking.
いえね、北条聡子さんの言う事故当時は車で眠っていたっていう話、ちょいと話がおかしいんじゃないかなってそう思うんです。
I mean, I think, considering that she's an L5 patient, she might have pushed him off. But either way, without knowing that it's a kid that's mentally unstable or emotionally unstable, then memory's going to be all over the place. Sakura-chan claims she was asleep in the back seat when the accident took place, so she didn't get out of the car at the viewing platform. When she woke up, she didn't see her parents. Then she found out they had fallen off the cliff.
それのどこに嘘があるというんです？まさか聡子ちゃんが実は眠っていなくて両親と一緒に展望台へ行ったと、そういう意味ですか？
そうです。北条聡子さんは眠ってなんかいなかった。両親と一緒に車を降りて展望台へ行ったんです。
I'm suddenly hit by a terrible possibility. What if what Hoichi says is true, and Sadako-chan is saying she didn't go to the viewing platform, even though she actually did? It's terrible to even imagine.
何を根拠にそうおっしゃっているのかわかりません。それになぜ嘘をつく必要が聡子ちゃんにあるんですか？
それなんですよ。なぜ北条聡子さんは嘘をつかなければならないのか。
Okay, so let me get this straight. You're raising a possibility, and so he counters by saying, why would she lie? And then you're using that, yes, why would she lie? So it's like circular deduction?
それの本当のところを教えていただけないと、こいつはただの転落事故ってことでは済ませられないんです。
It sounds like a logical fallacy, okay? You have no real reason to expect it, and then you go straight to, if she's lying, why would she lie? Effectively, is what his argument is.
うして聡子ちゃんが嘘をついているとお思いなんです？
今回の事故は所轄が違いますので、白川署さんが関係者から事情聴取をしているんですがね、その調書を読んでみると、どうにも引っかかるところがある。
引っかかるところとは何ですか？
北条聡子さんの主張によるならば、彼女は両親に展望台へ行こうと誘われたが、眠たかったのでそれを断り、車を降りなかったという。そして彼女はそのまま熟睡してしまい、相当の時間が経ってから目を覚ました。そしていつまでも戻ってこない両親に不安感を募らせ、泣き出した。その声を聞いて巡回中の公園作業員が話しかけて、事故が発覚したことになっています。この時ですね、公園作業員の証言では、両親が崖下に転落したと彼女が先に言ったというんですよ。
Okay, so I think I've mentioned this before, but your brain reorders things all the time. Normally it's in the less than a second range of reordering, like the order of events. But especially if you just had a traumatic experience, and especially as a child, your brain's going to reorder things to whatever it thinks makes most sense, even if it doesn't. Yeah, you're not really going to have a good temporal sense of how things happened.
ところがこの時、北条夫妻が止めた車の位置からは、問題の事故現場ははっきりと見えたわけじゃないはずなんです。
It's less lying and more being unaware, because you're unstable.
いや、注意深く見れば柵が破損していたのを気づけたかもしれない。でもですよ、目が覚めたら両親がいないのを知って真っ先に崖下へ転落したというのは尋常ではないと思うんです。普通は両親が自分を置いてどこかに散歩に行ってしまい、戻ってこないというはずなんです。転落する直接の現場を見てもいないのに、両親が転落したと第三者にいきなり言うのがね、私はどうしても腑に落ちないんですな。
What might have happened is that she woke up, found them, went back to the car and cried.
このあたり、どうして彼女は両親が転落したと確信したのか、その経緯を教えてもらいたいと思いまして、通い詰めているところだったんですよ。入院前に私も何度かお尋ねはしているんですが、記憶にない。当時は混乱していたと、まるでどこかの政治家みたいな答弁でしてね。
It sounds like a kid who's just been through a very traumatic experience.
私はじっくり話をしてみる価値があるかなって思っていたんですよ。
Don't turn this into a certainty. That terrifying possibility is turned into a certainty in my head. I just assumed that her parents' accident triggered her terminal symptoms. But no. Sarika-chan had already gone terminal, and just before the accident, her heart was filled with paranoia that drove her mad. Yes, and then knowing about Higurashi, that she has Hinazawa syndrome. What I think happened is semi-conscious of the fact, pushed her parents off and then went back to the car, and so she has some knowledge that they fell, but doesn't really remember the experience of pushing them off. Did I say that she was under a lot of stress because of her bad relationship with her stepfather? She was also being scolded by her mother for not being able to get along with him. That made her paranoid, made her think her parents considered her to be a bother and were going to kill her. When they went to a viewing platform, she must have thought they were going to push her off the cliff. Then a tragedy took place, and she pushed her parents off instead, although she considered it to have been self-defense. The issue is it's probably hard for a kid to push two adults off of a viewing platform. I'm certain of that, because I know Higurashi syndrome better than anybody. This accident isn't an accident. It isn't a crime either, like Oishi is thinking. It is simply a tragedy. When I talked to Satoshi-kun about the family, I was even more convinced. He told me even though Sadako-chan refused to open up to her stepfather, he had tried to communicate with her. It's true their relationship didn't go well in the beginning. Sadako-chan caused trouble repeatedly, and even called the city's child abuse hotline. At that point, they received guidance from a child consultation center. They pointed out the problem lay in the lack of communication between daughter and stepfather. So the stepfather took a parenting course under a social worker's guidance, and awkward though it was, he made efforts to communicate with her. Satoshi-kun noticed his efforts, so he tried to talk to Sadako-chan about it. However, Sadako-chan didn't notice them at all. The excessive stress she was under triggered terminal symptoms, and she couldn't understand her stepfather's remorse. On the contrary, her stepfather's change created even more mistrust within her. As a result, they went to enjoy the beautiful view of the Shirakawa Nature Park as a family, and to share that joy. Why wasn't Satoshi there again? Anyway, yeah, that humble, ordinary family's wish couldn't even get through to Sadako-chan. What a tragic misunderstanding. Sadako-chan stayed in the car telling her parents that she wanted to sleep, but then she got up and snuck up behind them. I bet he heard her footsteps. He pretended not to notice her, thinking she was going to doing that to surprise him. I mean, it certainly was a surprise. It's sad just thinking about what must have run through his mind. While he thought he had finally gotten through to her, she was actually approaching him with the intent to kill. Now that's not Sadako-chan's true nature. It's the disease. Sadako-chan isn't the only one who is to be pitied. Her parents are its victims too. And now she thinks she's a criminal. Judgment and punishment are required for crimes with malicious intent. But what she really needs is understanding and sympathy. No one has that understanding, except for me, because I know about Higurashi syndrome. I mean, Takano-san has the understanding, but sympathy? Ha! I am the director of the Irie Institute, but I've never behaved as such or exercised that authority. But I'm going to do so for the first time since taking the position. I'm not doing it as the head of the Irie Institute, a secret research organization. I'm doing it as a doctor, so I can protect Sadako-chan.
白川自然公園の聡子ちゃんの両親の転落事故ですが、この件、事故で決着するように山犬のおこのぎさんにお願いしてもらうことはできますか？
ええ、そんなことお安いご用ですわよ。山犬はそういうものの隠蔽や捏造に最も特化した部隊ですもの。確かに早くあの転落事故が事故ということに決着しないと警察がうちの実験体に近づいて邪魔ですものね。
そういうことです。特に大石さんがこの件から早く引き上げるようよろしくお願いします。
Well, what's to say Oishi doesn't have Higurashi syndrome? I mean, it's probably not a terminal case, but it's probably got some degree of it, maybe. But he's already focused in on it. It's hard to change someone's memories.
試薬投与実験のデリケートな時期です。 くような進路をかけるのは適当ではありませんので。
まったくですわね。山犬にそのように伝えますわ。警察にもすでにコネクションがあるとのことなので、圧力をかけるよう指示しましょう。近日中に白川転落事故は事故として確定することになると思いますわ。
With that, it was declared an accident. If only it really was one, it would have eased Sadako-chan's soul. Getting rid of the pathogen can't heal that wounded soul, nor can it erase the tragedy that had already taken place. All I can do is my best, so the day she regains her smile comes sooner. Okay, I'm going to check again. I'm not sure about the H103. Okay, now we do. Ooh, Rika has developed a high fever. A very high fever. It's not flu season, nor a season for any type of contagious disease. I could only think of the suspicious experiments Rika has gone through. Maybe the fever is being caused by those. Her growth is rather slow compared to other children her age. Receiving mysterious shots and going through experiments every week, I'm sure her body is exhausted. I've asked the staff to go easy on her, but Rika herself is fearless and willing to go through anything. I'm wondering if this is the first loop for Rika. In any case, my husband, who should be admonishing her for that, truly believes their story that it's crucial to the lives of over 2,000 villagers, and takes our own daughter to that clinic every week. I'm the only one who's sincerely worried about her health. That's why I want to ask Dr. Irie to be a little more considerate towards Rika. Anyway, I have to talk to him about taking responsibility for this. Right after I called, a staff member came to pick up Rika to admit her to the clinic. As her guardian, I came with them.
落ち着いてください、お母さん。必ず救いますから、もうしばらくお待ちになってください。
これが落ち着けるかというんです。急にこんな高熱が出るなんておかしいじゃないですか。
People get sick all the time.
これも先週にやったというなんとかという怪しげな実験の影響じゃないんですか。
And correlation does not equal causation.
リカはね、年相応の小さな女の子なんですよ。リカは友達思いだから、病気にかかった友達のためにと。
分かっております。それに私たちの研究が間違ってもリカさんに悪い影響を及ぼすようなことはありえませんし、万一にもそのようなことが起こらないよう常に注意をしています。
だったらこのリカの熱は一体どういうことなんですか。
おそらくは季節の変わり目ですので。
風邪なわけないでしょ。あなたたちが妙な薬を注射したからに決まっています。
Oh, she also has Hinazawa syndrome. Of course, right, yes. Dr. Irie only told me to calm down and refuse to accept responsibility. My husband told me this is all for the sake of the village, and that's why I've held back my doubts until now. But I'm at my limit. Their existence has been suspicious from the beginning. They're conducting their research in secret, using a privacy policy as an excuse. That was shady enough on its own. It's just impossible. In fact, I called the Ministry of Health and was told that wasn't true at all, even after I told them I'm Rika Frude's mother. The clinic even came up with stupid excuses, saying normal workers often don't know of a special institute like theirs. That doesn't make sense at all. It's much, much too suspicious. Also, there are people who don't appear to be researchers working at the institute. They look like security guards, but they seem so different from normal guards at the normal hospital. In fact, one time I accidentally saw they were armed with guns.
それはですね。
あの人たちは警察なんですか。 とてもそうには見えません。大体あなた方は何者なんですか？厚生省の人間だなんて私は今更信じませんよ。
Dr. Irie seems taken aback by my intensity and can't even answer properly. They're still hiding a lot more from us. That tells me the research we're working on with Rika isn't anything proper.
とにかく私はリカの保護者です。リカはまだまだ子供です。あの子が何をどう返事しようとも今後は一切研究を手伝わせるつもりはありません。
あらあら、リカちゃんのお母さんではありませんの。どうもこんにちは。あら、どうかなさいまして？
いえ、お母さんがリカさんをこれ以上研究に関わらせたくないとおっしゃってまして。
それはどうしてですか？
うちの子はあなたたちの実験動物ではないからです。
Tsukano would like to disagree.
そう扱ったことなどございませんわよ。それは大きな誤解ですわ。
I'm a little startled. Dr. Irie is a weak person who backs down under pressure. Tsukano-san is different. I'm yelling at her, but she's not afraid at all. On the contrary, she's glaring daggers, and looks as if she's about to jump on me.
リカちゃんの熱は風によるものですわ。私たちのせいだなんてとんでもない。私たちは安全や衛生には国立研究所クラスの注意を払ってます。失礼ですが、アルコール消毒もしない手でリカちゃんの手を引いて歩いているあなたより衛生的なくらいですわよ。
そんなことは聞いていません。とにかくリカはあなたたちのおもちゃじゃないんです。リカはもう二度とここへは連れてきません。
あなたの一存で決められては困りますわね。
She's angry. I don't think we've seen her this angry before.
ご協力をいただくことについて、ご両親には契約書にサインをしてもらっているはずではございませんの？研究に協力していただく見返りに、決して少なくない額を毎月お口座に振り込ませていただいているはずですわ。
So in terms of ethics boards, I think you would need for continued consent of both guardians. I know that you can withdraw your consent at any time and leave a study, even if the study's basically done, or even if the study's over. You can withdraw your consent and your data has to be removed from the study. But in any case, yeah.
そんなお金私は知りませんよ。聞いたこともないです。
Rika receiving money for participating in their research really is news to me. Knowing my husband's character, he wouldn't have used it as spending money behind my back. I bet he thought of it as a free service for the villagers, and completely forgot about the money being deposited into our account. There haven't been any strange deposits in the regular account, so it may be in our savings. Anyway, I don't care about that.
契約を保護にされる場合には、それまでの振込額をすべて返還していただくことになっているのはご存知ですわね。
And again, ethics boards wouldn't allow that. The compensation which you receive is in return for like time which you've put into it, etc., like traveling, etc., and they don't have the right to ask for it to be returned.
他にも一方的な保護についてそちらに非がある場合、
高野さん、落ち着いてください。お母さんもどうか。ひなみ沢症候群は以前にもご説明させていただきましたように、これからも村人たちが安心して生活していくために絶対に治療していかなくてはならないものなのです。そのためにはどうしてもリカさんのご協力が必要なのです。
治療のためって、じゃあその治療薬はいつになったら出来上がるんですか？
That's not how research tends to go.
大体おかしいじゃないですか。リカの友達のさとこちゃんのためということでしたけど、そのさとこちゃんはもう退院して元気に生活しているというじゃありませんか。
Well, she's been released from her clinic, but she still has to visit, like every week or something, isn't it?
確か先々週にうちの人が話を聞いた時にも、もう治療のめどは立ったというようなお話をされていたはずですわよね。
ええ。目処はついたというような話はしたと思います。ですが、ひなみ沢症候群の全貌を解明するためには
全貌の解明なんか最初の話で聞いていません。リカが協力するのは村人の病気を治療するためのはずです。ならもう十分ではありませんの。皆さんがリカに怪しげな研究やら検査やらをしているのはあなた方の興味本位であって、治療とは何の関係もないんじゃありませんの。
そんなことはありません。とにかくリカさんの風邪の件は誤解なんです。もしどうしてもご不審ということでしたら。
とにかくもう結構です。お金の話もあるみたいなので、私も帰って夫と相談しますから。それでは失礼します。
They were just too shady from the very start. Because of her exaggerated story, Rika and my husband took their side, but it won't work on me. Anyhow, I must settle things with him right away, because Rika isn't fair toy. I especially don't trust that woman called Takano, that's fair. Dr. Iria seems to me like he's still a doctor, but she doesn't. How can I describe her? I guess I can say the glow in her eyes is just unpleasant. She only sees Rika as a guinea pig. I can feel cruelty emitting from her. Neither my husband nor Rika have noticed that. I must protect her. As a mother, I must protect Rika.
高野さんらしくもない。あそこで喧嘩を買ってしまったら余計に話がこじれてしまうではありませんか。あなたらしくもないですよ。
そうですわね。
Okay, I kind of like Takano's expression in this, but Iria's expression just looks so derpy.
ごめんなさい、取り乱してしまって。
Did something happen to put her in a bad mood? Iria wondered. The heated conversation she just had didn't involve Takano he knew. I mean, have they not considered the possibility that they also have Fenwazawa syndrome now? They're working on a disease that they know influences how they react and increases aggression and all. And they see increased aggression and don't immediately think, maybe it's to do with this disease we're researching. In any case, I'll end it here for today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, I will see you then.